What's going on, everybody? We're back with another Blue Protocol video. I'll be making guide videos on every single dungeon in the game for hard mode due to the normal mode being dummied down with the majority of the same mechanics just simplified. Quick reminder, you can purchase up to 10 cheer up treats per week in the orb store weekly shop, which allows you to get 3 times drops in all the dungeons. Now with all of that out of the way, let's start with the lead up into the boss room. Everything is straightforward. A quick tip is just not to pull too many mobs while you're clearing the rooms due to at the start, everyone is around the gear score level for the dungeon and the supports won't have enough juice to keep everyone alive if the mob pulls become excessive. To start off, we're going to go over a major attack the boss does. A couple of seconds into the fight, the boss will mark the tank with a red AoE under their feet. This attack will always be directed to whoever has aggro in the fight, which is usually the tank. Quick tip to know who has aggro, you can look at the top right of the boss's HP bar that will confirm the player who currently has aggro. This attack will one-shot any non-tank player unless you iframe that attack, which we will talk about later in the video. For safety measures, your tank should back away from the pack to avoid any players falling to it, or sit in one spot so everyone else can move out of the red AoE area. The first mechanic should happen after. At this point, the goblin will spawn a set of minions on 2 sides of the map. One minion on each side will have a shield mark over their heads. Everyone should quickly memorize the 2 locations and start eliminating those 2 mobs. The reason to memorize the 2 locations is after the 2 mobs are destroyed, in the middle of the 2 mobs with the shield markings will be the safe spot for the incoming attack. If needed, this is a perfect time to use your dash skill that is obtained via side quests after obtaining the float and fly ability. On default, the keybind is E. After destroying those 2 mobs, they will drop the shield on the ground, which is picked up with the interaction key. Ideally, you want your tank and support to pick up those 2 shields to allow the DPS to continue doing damage during the incoming gimmick. The boss will start the gimmick by having a shield in front of him and target whoever picked up the first shield. That player must step away from the boss to prepare to bounce the incoming orb to either side of him so the second player can bounce the orb behind to complete the first mechanic. While the orb is traveling, avoid stacking with it because it will do damage if it touches a player. If the orb is not thrown back to the boss like explained, it will result in a wipe. After the first time completing that mechanic, the boss will leave a blue dome surrounding the boss arena that does tick damage if you are outside of it. Another pattern will happen during the fight where the boss will mark every single player with a strip of red AoE. For this pattern, just be aware not to stack with anyone due to you being able to tank 1 tornado. We could talk about iframes here. In Blue Protocol, whenever you activate your ultimate, you enter a cutscene. The duration of the cutscene indicates iframes. This is really important in a lot of the dungeon fights because it can result in life or death in a lot of scenarios. Before the tornado attack is unleashed, I do take damage from a slam attack the boss did. If you notice, I iframe the tornado damage by activating my ultimate to avoid that incoming damage. This nullifies any attack in the game. The last major mechanic, the boss will roar and flash with purple lightning, which indicates the start of the mech. For this mechanic, the boss will continue spawning blue cones on opposite sides of one another. During this phase, you cannot dodge, so spacing your attacks and moving accordingly is important. The blue cones will do damage a couple of seconds after they spawn in the order that they appear. It's kind of like a memory game. That covers all the major things to know about the Goblins Nest dungeon. For normal mode, everything explained in this video is a lot less punishing. For normal, gear score 1870 is required and 3880 for hard mode. Due to this being the first dungeon in the game, it allows you to be able to spam it in the early stages in the game to farm out those gold rarity weapons, so learning the dungeon as fast as possible is ideal. I will be making a guide for every single dungeon in the game on the global CBT. That'll be it for this video. Catch you guys next time.